everyone. We are here with Zeynep for an interview that will be part of the many events and activities of the Kurdish Month, which has been organized by the Kurdish Center of New York, which also organizes the New York Kurdish Film Festival. We're very happy to be here with Zeynep because she is really an example for us and a model too of a Kurdish woman in the diaspora trying to keep her passions and interests alive while living here in New York, and also transforming these interests and passions into her own personal and professional goals. So thank you so much, Zeynep, for this interview.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Hi, Giada.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. So I prepared a couple of questions for you, but do you want to just start by presenting yourself, telling us where you're coming from, where you live? So general.
Sure. Yeah. Hello. My name is Zeynep, and I'm from Ahmed. I'm the fourth daughter of a Kurdish family with 5 children. I came to New York from Istanbul. And I have been here for 6.5 years, and I live in Brooklyn. So it's me, yeah.
So you live in Brooklyn. You have been here for 6 years. What do you do here?
Okay, so I'm a designer, furniture maker. I'm a woodworker. And I make table, cabinets, bar, shelves. I usually do large works in terms of size. And I took some classes as furniture design, furniture making, drawing, color theory from the Pratt. So I have been doing woodwork for last 3.5 years.
So if I understand correctly, you do everything. You do the drawing, the planning, the design, and then the actual making of the furniture.
Yeah, it's correct. Yeah.
Okay, wow, that's very impressive. So you just took some classes at Pratt, or did your love for wood have sort of a beginning, a story behind that?
Yeah, and my love for wood started when I was at university in Turkey. An old friend of mine had a musical instrument making wood shop. So I used to make these musical instruments with him. It's called the saz, and it is a stringed instrument. It belongs to a lute family. It has a bow and then the long necked strings. Yeah, it's called saz.
Is it a traditional instrument?
Yes, it's very traditional. Correct. Yeah.
And can you also play it by any chances?
I can play it. Yes.
Oh, that's amazing. So next time you should play it for us.
Yeah, hopefully one day. I don't have right now my instrument, but yeah, one day, why not?
That's good. Yeah. So if I get this correctly, you started with some classes at Pratt 3.5 years ago, and then you got the job that you have right now in the company you have right now.
Correct.
And but you came to the US over 6 years ago. So what did you do before?
So I was babysitting when I first came to New York, and then I worked as a teacher in Montessori school. So when I was teaching, I started to took those classes from Pratt.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, and then I changed my schedule. I was teaching part-time in school, and I started work in a wood shop.
So you did everything at once.
Yeah.
School, your own classes, and then the Montessori, and then, the woodwork.
Yes, they were very tiring days. Then I started to work with the company I'm currently working for now.
I see. But so if you worked for a Montessori school, that is pretty specialized pedagogy. So you had already some experience more than just babysitting, right?
Yeah, I was a preschool teacher when I was in Turkey, actually. So after graduating from a good education university in Izmir, I was a preschool teacher in public schools, like for 8-9 years. So yeah, I was a
So you
teacher.
have a very long experience with education and working with children, and you have also the education to do that. You have studied. So, and now, but now you're working as a woodworker. So has your love for education completely faded, or are you keeping it alive in some ways?
Oh yeah, I write stories for kids now.
Okay.
I used to write stories even when I was in high school. Back then, what I wrote wasn't children's stories. So when I started university, I focused more on children's stories because of my education, probably. So I actually haven't written for a long time, but after I came here, I started again to write stories. So yeah, these days I generally write stories about science and especially space.
Oh, so those stories are not just for entertainment, they're actually about some scientific topics.
Yes, correct. Like time, the universe, the formation of stars, our solar system, it all fascinates me. So I really enjoy learning about these subjects. I constantly taking notes and new story ideas come to my mind. Even if I was reading books or watching documentaries about space, after I came here, my interest improved more about these topics.
I see. And so how come did you decide to write this for children? I mean, how did you put together this passion for education and writing children's story with your passion for science?
Actually, I really enjoy learning and these subjects, and I was thinking about how can I explain this them to children in a way that grab their attentions, and how can I make children understand these difficult topics. So I believe the stories is the best way to teach them. So there are some stories that I wrote, but I'm still working on them for publishing, as I wanted to make the illustration myself too. So I believe it will happen in a while.
So that must be very complicated to find, the combination between writing and the text and the illustration, how to put those two universes together. But
Yeah.
you are an accomplished artist, so you have been painting for a long time. You have many paintings in your home, and you keep, and it seems to me, if I'm correct, that you explore those universes also in your art, not just when it comes to illustrated children book.
True.
You
True.
so can you talk a little bit about your art, your own art, when it comes to, techniques on one side, and also the type of universes that you explore with your colors and all this
Yeah, sure.
work that you do?
Yeah, sure. I usually use acrylic paint when I'm painting. And I like to use pastel too. And I did before some paintings with pastel, but I feel it's more enjoyable to use acrylic now. So I love making art of space, clouds, nature, and like land paintings. So use the different colors on the same canvas, the new colors that emerge when mixing, and their distribution as if they melt into each other affect me a lot. So I prefer to paint transitional pictures in which colors are dominant rather than the pictures with very sharp geometric patterns, even our people. So I think I can express my feelings more easily with colors.
Yeah,
Um,
I noticed that even though for instance, you paint the universe a lot, and even though the universe, I tend to think that it's a very dark place. In your paintings, there is a lot of color. There is, even though it's the universe, it's
yeah,
like you're trying to paint the light itself.
yeah,
the stars are in your paintings, they are really a source of light. And sometimes in some of your, I think more in your pastels paintings, I see like as if you, I see this that you mostly paint nature, sort of devoid of human figures.
Yeah,
And it
correct.
seems like almost you were painting the silence that we can find in nature, this sort of sensations, and that you sort of give this sensation just with your colors. And as you were saying, how they transition from one to the next.
Yes, correct. Because in my world, space is a colorful paradise on a black background. My black universe, where colored lights are mixed with each other, sometimes clouds in fog, sometimes bright like the sun, like clear colors. So as a Kurdish woman, if the black ground color in my painting is the pain of my Kurdish identity, the colors on it are the symbol of my hope and joy, just like Kurdish people or Kurdish dresses.
That's true.
So
So there's a need for color on the black ground of reality.
yeah, it's correct.
That
Correct.
that's really so. And what is so I think you said this very clearly. What is important in your art is also what allows you to express yourself with your colors, this hope, this desire to be close to nature, right?
Yes.
Um,
Uh,
so, and more in general, like we have been talking about your art, but also about and how it is important for you to sustain you in life, but also about all your past experiences, because you have so many. You have worked in education in between two countries. You are now working as a woodworker. I mean, that's really an enormous career change, going from
yeah.
education to woodworking and making this very big furniture pieces that you make, which are very beautiful, have like a specific design. Um, but in all, you know, you have in between cultures in Turkey, and now you are in between many, many cultures in New York.
It's
So
correct.
how do you, in all these experiences, what is that you keep, what is that is important for you for the present, right? There is a lot that probably you have to decide what to keep, what is important, what sustains your life.
Yeah, so I can say that I find that being a teacher makes it easier for me to understand children. But more importantly, I'm learning to heal the resentments of my own childhood and
Mhm.
the wants that I did not notice. I'm talking about the wants of growing up and like ostracized Kurdish child. So
Yeah.
life for Kurdish children is always difficult in Turkey. So now being with children is like healing. When I'm with children, I see that I can deeply feel the love that is natural, beautiful, simple, real. So this is priceless. I think the colors I use in my painting stem from the true love I learned from children. Also, I get inspiration from natural colors of the Kurds too. Um, Apart from that, my experience of making musical instruments, I believe, has made me choose the furniture making profession here.
But
Yeah.
so I see really a connection between what you know, the topic of your children books, that is all about nature and
Yeah.
science is an attempt to understand nature, right?
Yes,
uh,
correct, correct.
and the love for children, which is also a love that is like generally very immediate, right? It's something very spontaneous.
Yes,
And your art that is all about, you know, the universe, nature, and wood. I mean, wood is a very natural material, and I mean, touching wood, you often talk about how it is important for you to touch wood, how it is calming when you work, even though it's a very heavy work, it's very hard to
it's very
work.
hard. Yeah.
but still you find, and so I see all this connected, and I was wondering what future projects you want to embark in, because I'm sure you want to embark in some future more complicated project, knowing you, what in which, you know, all these different experiences may, you know, come together.
Yeah, actually, my wish is to have a studio of my own,
Mhm.
and for making furniture, my design furniture. And I love to do painting. So I want to combine furniture making and with painting. So according to me, painting or producing a product is something that makes people happy. It's
Mhm.
comforting, it's peaceful. Even the wood smell is very beautiful for me. So everything that is natural with natural colors, plain and simple, impress me a lot. So I want to keep what I'm doing right now and to combine the furniture and the painting together like a real together. And then I want to keep writing stories and publishing them. So this is my goal. Yeah.
So you would like to continue writing stories for children and publishing them with your own illustrations, and you want to make continue designing furniture, but you want also to integrate painting in the furniture. Do you mean you want to have like actual like drawings on the furniture?
Yes, correct. Yeah, I wanna like if I wanna do cabinet or any table or drawing something like at the same time I wanna paint top of them, use my painting on my furniture. Yeah, bring them
So that
together.
would be very personal, and it would be like an
Yeah,
object people have at home that is really something that is
yeah.
deeply
It will
personal.
be my sign. Yeah, hopefully.
Amazing. Um, we have talked a lot now about work and projects, which is all very important because it's part of the way in which you express yourself. But I wanted also to ask you a little bit more personal question, because
Sure.
I know that you live, you know, you said you lived in Brooklyn, but I know that you live actually in Greenpoint. And
Correct.
Greenpoint is a
Yeah.
very interesting place to me because it's sort of a little island in Brooklyn that is very, uh, you know, most Polish people live in Greenpoint. And when you
Correct.
go, when you walk around Greenpoint, there is a lot of people speak Polish. There is a Polish bookstore and shops, and so it's a little bit
Correct.
of another. And it seems that people that live all together like that sort of recreate their homes, even though it's far away from home. And I wondered, how do you recreate home? How do you make yourself at home in New York after, you know, living here for 6 years? How do you do that?
Okay. So before Greenpoint, I actually lived in Bed-Stuy. Although the two neighborhoods are located in Brooklyn, their atmospheres are completely different.
Yeah.
So there is a lot I learned there from Bed-Stuy. I learned a lot about the problems African Americans experience or cultural activities. But Greenpoint, as you said, is a place where Polish culture is dominant. So I can say that how I'm presenting myself here to keep up with my own realities without losing the real Zeynep, without cutting my ties with my culture and identity, to learn their culture, to try to learn their language, being a part of them. It's the way I'm seeing right now to make here my home. And I also cook dishes I learned from my mother. And I was watching movies, what I used to watch with my family, like old movies. And I listened to the music of my own culture.
So
Yeah.
I like that you do both, that you are curious about the world around you and that you sort of
Yeah.
try to make yourself at home by being at home where you are in a foreign country with foreign people, and also that you keep a a connection with your own culture by, you know, in the usual way as everybody who lives outside, like with music, with films, with food. Food is very important in all this.
Correct. It's
But
correct.
but you do live in a Polish community, I mean in a Polish neighborhood, but because there is no actual Kurdish neighborhood in New York City, unlike maybe other cities like we saw in Nashville, for instance, but you still have connection with Kurdish
Yes,
people in New
that's
York.
correct. That's correct. Like I'm having this great interview with you through a very valuable friend of mine who organizes this Kurdish Film and Cultural Festival many years in New York City. So I want to say to my female friends living in Turkey or anywhere in the world, by telling my own story, there is always hope. I would like to share my experiences with them, where I came from without any financial support, without any of my family being by my side, without knowing anybody, without knowing the culture, language. So I never want my fearless female friends to be discouraged. So this is my goal right now, to get this interview, actually,
That's
to
very,
giving the hope them, to giving message them.
I think that's very important, and it's important for us to hear that many times a day that there is hope, and that it will, and that maybe we need to be fearless, and we need to have a
Yes,
lot of hope.
yeah,
I think in your case, it really is important, right? You are not only here, but
yeah,
you are here and you are cultivating these things that are important to you. You're
yes.
not giving up on them.
And I also want to say that even though my communication with my people from my own culture is more limited here because
Yes.
of work, I
Yeah.
try to participate in the activities. I try to take part in organizations as much as I have time and energy. It's so hard in New York City, but yeah. And I'm trying to attend the celebrations that will be held on the days that we consider important in our culture, like as Navros, we celebrated
Yeah.
together.
Yeah, in
Yeah,
Nashville. Yeah,
naturally,
absolutely.
yeah.
So this is an important celebration for Kurdish people, not only for Kurdish people, but also for especially for Kurdish people. And
Correct.
it
Yeah.
was a very beautiful celebration in Nashville. We saw a very big
It was
Kurdish
very good.
community, and the celebration was very beautiful. I thought, with a lot of people dressing in um, traditional clothes and playing traditional music and dancing.
Yeah, correct. Goans. We dance Goans.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
And
thank you so much. This it was a
yeah,
sorry, yeah. Keep
no,
going.
no, no. I was just, yeah. Thank
Yeah.
you so much, Zeynep, for this incredible. I think that really your example is very significant, and it's for us very good to have your interview, because your message of hope to all the furthest women in the world is very important.
Oh yeah,
Not
thank you.
It's not just a message, you actually show that it is possible.
Yeah, thank you so much to giving this opportunity to me. My goal was just trying to show how what can we do if we want, if we really want. So thank you so much, Jada.
Thank you for this interview, Zainab.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Bye.